握手図教は全てが許される教えです。それはたとえロリコンでもニートでも人外獣耳少女愛好者でも全てが許されるのです。汝経験なる信徒よ。
What makes something weeb? Weird question, right? But is caramel dancing weeb? Like it's a Euro dance slash electronic music from 2001 made by Sweden. Phineas and Ferb thinks it's weeb. They dedicated 4 to 1 seconds to exaggerating brokenness of Japanese speakers speaking English. So today we're going to be looking at that. What makes something weeb? Dictionary.com, the internet's most reliable source for these types of things, guess if that's sarcasm or not, says that weeb is a derisive term for a non-Japanese person who is obsessed with Japanese culture that they wish they were Japanese themselves. But the internet calls anime itself weeb, which is definitely not the same as the obsession. The obsession is not the same as obsessing over the said obsession. Let us clear up the obvious within the definition itself. The word obsession is a really good word to use when it comes to the over-interest in Japanese culture. However, this is going to be my first political stance in this channel. I feel like obsession over another culture that is not one's own is not necessarily the problem, because people use the word or the term weeaboo for literally anything as an insult. Like, think about it. It could be because of the person's cringeworthy actions or what they said. Although, to be fair, it could be because what they said or did was related to anime, or at least the idea of being weeb. So going forward, there's going to be a lot of subjectiveness within that definition itself. I say this because the second half of the definition is a bit shaky in my opinion. Weeb does not necessarily mean the person in question wants to be Japanese. Well, like I said, someone being weeb, or at least being called one, is just a part of the perception based on their actions or words relative to their enjoyment, i.e., you're a weeb if you like Fire Emblem. My segue sucks, I know. Ask someone who was disappointed about DLC 5 of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and they'll probably definitely say that Fire Emblem is weeb. Have you Smash players, or you yourself even, said the words, "God, not another blue-haired anime sword fighter"? What makes Fire Emblem anime? Yeah, the anime cutscenes, but nothing official from Nintendo except for the OVA. But this forum from SerenaForest.net may clear up some answers. The answer could be embedded subconsciously, connecting the anime tropes from writing to the character designs to actual examples of anime. Going back to the definition we started with, we can change that a little bit. We can definitely define the split. Weeb can be a common noun or an adjective. Common noun as in go talk to the weeb, he can tell you the capital of Japan, and adjective as in what I'm doing with this channel is pretty weeb. So now we made this distinction. Let us go back to caramel dancing. What constitutes as Japanese culture? Caramel dancing was definitely Swedish origin, but why is it seen as weeb? Here comes a history lesson. According to Know Your Meme, which takes its information from the first real connection between Sweden and our friends over there in Asia is the song being placed over the animation of the opening to Pop Tan, which is a game released in 2002, which is definitely anime. This is also important to add. The song itself is actually the Nightcore version. It's not actually the real version that was released. They're very different, and what people associate as Caramel Dance Set is really just a edited version of the actual song. The song and the animation put together was made by Sven, who just posted this flash loop on his website, and early internet just snagged that and spread that all over the place. The real connection to anime is, of course, the use of the opening animation. The game Pop Tan is definitely weeb, but the song isn't. It's Swedish. So does that mean that putting a song on top of some anime make it weeb? Maybe. Like, do you associate Gangster's Paradise with Sonic? I mean, you probably do, considering the fact you watched this video. Rockefeller Street, the Nightcore version, it's not weeb, it's definitely English, and it's from Ukraine, I think. But whenever people search that song up, the Nightcore version always has an anime girl, or more famously, cat girl, and even better yet, if you just like rhythm games, you're gonna see the cat girl version. So the song is definitely not weeb, but this song is perceived as such. So the definition shouldn't be Japanese culture overall. I think it has to do more about perception. I suggest a change in the definition, changing the second half entirely. Just because something or someone is weeb doesn't mean he or she wants to be Japanese. It is more association rather than a desire for such. Confused? Don't worry, we're almost done. In conclusion, I think the definition of weeb is less meaningful now on how it is used, as inanimate things like songs or actions can be perceived as weeb, and someone just likes anime can also be a weeb. Tropes in the style of animation can make something weeb. Perception and association is the name of the game here, instead of just someone wanting to be Japanese, even if the association is not necessarily asked for. So, what makes something weeb? Whatever the person who's using the word thinks is close enough to Japanese culture.